Hello everyone and welcome back to El Jefe and Scale, and today we're going to be talking about how to install these Kato passenger car interior lights, which have turned out very nice. They are completely flicker free. I have these installed on my Amtrak Amfleet 1 San Diegan corrugated cars, and the lighting, it really brings them alive. They are completely flicker free, no issues with them. And I came to find out, when it comes to looking up how to install these, there's lots of let's say incomplete information when you research videos and stuff like that, and the instructions that come with them are kind of useless. They're not much help. So what I'm going to do, obviously I have them already installed. I bought the kits that came with enough lighting parts for 6 cars. So we have complete parts here for 1 car. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a car and I'm going to reverse engineer it. I'm going to take it apart for you, from taking the shell off the chassis of the car, and show you exacto how everything goes together and how to complete one of these. So let's bring the train around. And then we're going to stop it. And we're going to pluck the last coach from it. And these cars are nice. Even when you slow it down, again, you guys know by now I'm DC. The cars, the illumination is still fairly strong on them. So let's bring her to a stop. And I'm going to pluck this car and we're going to put it on the camera on the tripod while I bring the car down to this work area here. And one thing I wanted to go over was there's actually 2 options for these lighting kits for these cars. They come in boxes of 1 or 6. So you can buy it to cover 6 cars, or I believe they sell them to where 1 car each per car. But the main difference is this Kato part number up here. See, this one is 11-214. And then on my screen here, you got 11-212. And I did a lot of research between the two of them. The difference is the color temperature of the LEDs. This 11212 seems to be the best seller, the most popular one that people use to install. But for my purposes, the lighting effect you get from these, from my research, it's very cold, a very cold white color temperature, like an icy white. And that would simulate a very cool white fluorescent bulb. And that's not the look I wanted to achieve on mine. I wanted more of a older type, warmer light. And the thing is, with these light kits, you see the parts here. The parts are between the 214 and the 212 kit. The parts look identical. You have the truck pickup strips here for the electrical continuity from the wipers on the trucks. This is the LED itself, where, let's see the part I'm pointing at the camera right there? The actual LED is housed in the end of that point right there, of that assembly. And then these are lenses, optional lenses, to put over the LED windows of these assemblies. And being the color of those lenses, it will obviously make the light warmer. But the reason I chose the 214 is because, as you saw in the illumination here, they're a really nice color temperature by themselves. I did not install those amber lenses. There was really no need to. It's a perfect color temperature on this 214 kit. So if you get the 212 kit, they're gonna look icy cold. And if you add these lenses, it's going to warm them up a bit, but also what I've been looking at is people have a lot of difficulty. You have to clip these lenses off this part sprue and try and insert them into this, which a lot of people seem to have difficulty, and I can understand why. It's looks like it might be a very difficult fit there. So if you get the 214 kit, if you don't want icy white, you want a little more natural, warmer color temperature, just get this 214 kit and you won't have to mess with those lenses at all. So you have the, again, the electrical pickups, the LED assembly itself, the lenses, and this is the diffuser strip, which will go inside of the car. And so let's set up, just to show you really quick the way this is going to be orientated, is let's pretend this light assembly is on one end of the car. And if you look at this diffuser strip, it has a white arrow shape, kind of opaque, coloring there. And so if you flip the lens, there it is, the white opaque strip is on top. If you flip it upside down, it's on the bottom. It's just on one side. So the way you want to orientate this is you want the narrow end of the strip with the opaque part. Let's see if we can get it there. You see that? You see how it's on top there? You want to orientate it like this inside the cab roof of the car. When I say cab roof, that can be taken loosely because it's not exactly mounted inside tight of the roof, depending on your particular coach, your Kato coach you're trying to light, whether it be a Viewliner, an Amfleet, a Superliner. The mounting of this thing might vary. But we're going to take a car off here. I'm going to show you how we did this on my Amfleet. So let's get this camera up on the tripod. Click this in here. There we go. Let's turn on our work light so we can see what's going on. And let's grab the car. So here's our Amfleet car. And we're going to pop the shell off just by grabbing some of the undercarriage here and kind of prying with our thumbnail. Ooh, that was way too easy. So there you go. Whoops. A little explosive disassembly there, but it's okay. So the LED fell out because of the way it just took that apart there. So anyways, here you can see the way I have the diffuser orientated inside the shell of this car. Here's the other diffuser I just showed you. So let's just let that fall out. And then when you look at the ends of the car, you're going to have to discern, depending on your Kato coach. There was, again, the instructions pretty much meant nothing. You have to look how this is going to go. And when it comes to your electrical contact strips here, it's going to make sense when you look at your car. Because, for example, on my car, you have to slide these in. Basically, let me see if I can show you this. These have to be slid in. You see how the tabs are sticking out there on the ends of the car? So there's little slots down here in the car that you slide them in until they seat completely, as you see them right now. And when you look at one end of the car, there's no available slots for those little tabs to go into. And when I looked at this end of the car, I'm like, okay, it's fairly obvious where those things have to go. And you can see the electrical pickups on the bottom of the wheels. And apparently, on the bottom of these Amfleet coaches by Kato, the pickups that come pre-installed on the wheels run the entire length, because I noticed that that's the reason why I think they're flicker free, is because you have a good set of wheels always touching the tracks, despite the contact strips coming into contact with them back here. You have the strips running the whole length of the car, which come pre-installed there. These are just simply to get the continuity from those strips up to your LED assembly. So what you do on these is, again, it might be a little different, but it's going to be very similar. Let me see if I can get this in a better focus here. There we go. It's going to be very similar on most of your other Amfleet, Viewliner, Superliner cars, most likely. You see those peg tabs right there? And then you can see the brass strips coming up here with their little indentations there. There's going to be a pinch friction fit between the LED assembly. You see the LED assembly. Inside here, you have little metal contact strips. And so you're going to take this and you're going to fit it. There's not going to be a positive click or anything. Again, it's a friction pinch type of fit sort of thing. You're going to take these and simply slide them in right there. And there you go. Those contacts are touching the brass strips. And so that's how that sits. So then you take, the way I've done the diffuser on this is, rather than having to try and, because I couldn't figure out a way to snap it into the roof of the car here, because the point being is you want to have the end of this plastic kind of matched up and flush with the end of that LED assembly. And it just so happens that when you lay it across the top of the seats of the cars, it's pretty much right level with the proper depth of the LED output. So again, let's find the proper side of our opaque white strip. So there we go, it's on the top. So we're going to have the opaque part of the plastic lens at the top. We're going to lay that just like so up against the LED. And then we're going to take our shell and simply just snap her carefully back into place right there, just like that. So let's make sure that's all mated up properly. There we go. So let me get this car back on the track here, and hopefully the reassembly here make contact properly. Sorry, I'm doing this off camera here. I'll get the camera off the tripod in just a second. You know what? I'm just gonna put the re-railer up here, and then I'll hold the camera up. We'll take the locomotive off the track so nothing moves. Get the re-railer on here. Take the camera off the tripod. Okay, here we are. So this is the car we just reassembled, put back together. And let's get that on the re-railer. Let's give the track some voltage, so you can see the other cars light up. So we're going to take this car, put it on the re-railer, and hopefully this sucker will light up once we get her railed up. And there you go, guys. So, successful reassembly. That's how that goes. So I hope you guys found this video helpful on using these Kato LED kits to light your coaches. So again, when it comes to these lenses, you're going to have to take them with a grain of salt as far as your particular coach, whether it be a Viewliner, Amfleet, Superliner, whatever. But I'm sure you can get them to work. I'm going to pick up, I'm excited to get myself some super liners pretty soon, and hopefully we'll be able to use this type of kit in those, no problem. But it seems a little daunting, being the parts and being the instructions are very incomplete and minimal instructional videos online. But it's fairly simple. It took me about, let's see, it took me about 20 minutes, half an hour to figure out how this all went together. But then once I had it, it takes about, I would say, no more than 10 minutes per car to get these all together. So thank you for watching this vid, guys. I hope you found it helpful on how to light your Kato coaches, and catch up with me for the next video.